Welcome to Discover Truth Bite-Sized. Today we're looking at chapter number 12 and just verse number 11 in particular. And when Peter was come to himself, he said, Now I know of a surety that the Lord has sent his angel and hath delivered me out of the hands of Herod and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. You see, there was no messing with the Herod family. They would kill you as quickly as they would look at you. In fact, they weren't happy about the gospel message, and on hearing the gospel, they decided they were going to vex the Christians. They were going to oppress them. James, he was arrested and thrown into prison, and eventually Herod, he had him put to death. Whenever Herod thought this was pleasing to the Jews, he then decided he was going to arrest Peter and have him also thrown in prison and eventually put to death. To make sure that there was no escape plan, there were 16 guards who were put in place to look after Peter in that inner court. 2 of them were chained to his wrists, and 2 of them would watch the gates, and they worked in shifts, continually surrounded by the guards at the inner prison. But some way away, in the house of Mary, the first Christians, there they were, and they were praying. They were praying unto God on behalf of Peter. Perhaps their prayers weren't very specific. Perhaps they were praying that God would give Peter comfort in whatever he would face. Perhaps that they were praying that God would give him peace in the situation. Perhaps they were praying that God would give him a good night's rest, or even opportunity to witness to those guards, or an opportunity for the gospel once again to fall onto the ears of Herod. But little did they know, as those Christians were praying, God, he heard their prayers, and he was answering in an amazing and in a miraculous way. An angel had appeared into that open prison. A bright light, it shone and filled the place. The chains, they fell free from Peter, and he took his cloak and he put it upon him. He put his shoes upon his feet. Not a guard was stirred, and the gates of the prison house were opened. And there Peter, he walked out of that prison as a free man, and nobody and nothing was able to stop him. The main doors into the prison, the iron doors, they swung open, and there was an open path out into the street. When Peter got out of the prison, he perhaps made his way down to the house of Mary, where those Christians were praying, knocking on the door to get in, and lo and behold, whenever they saw and they heard it was him, they could hardly believe it. The Lord had done something truly wonderful, something amazing in answer to their praying. What a time of prayer and praise and rejoicing as Peter shared his story about how the God had intervened and how the God had moved in answer to their praying. Christian, I just remind you today, be faithful in your praying. Be faithful for those who you're praying for. Be faithful about praying for those in your family who are still unsaved. Be faithful in taking the gospel to them. And as you pray and as you preach, just watch the great and the mighty things that God can do on your behalf. Things that you could hardly even scarcely begin to imagine. There is nothing that's too difficult for the Lord.